In many of the previous presentations, we've talked about consciousness, or the conscious mind, and subconscious mind. We're now going to talk about another C word, and this is cognition. Cognition means to think. And, of course, we can have thoughts running through our minds that are subconscious. We've learned about that. These are things that we really don't even pay attention to. We also can have conscious thinking. This is to focus our thoughts on something that is happening right at this moment. Cognition, thinking and learning, causes electrical discharges within the brain. The brain is filled with billions of neurons, which are cells with a specific function to generate an electrical signal, communicating to other cells via electricity. One of the most fascinating parts about this process of communicating with other cells is that it'll cause the release of photons. Photons are packets of light, in this case biophotons. Move to the next slide when you're ready. It has been known for decades that neurons communicate with each other through electrical signals. What has recently been discovered is that photons are a part of the equation as well. Photons, in fact, are what allows for wireless communication. If you think of your cell phone communicating wirelessly to another phone or to a cell phone tower, it is through the movement of photons. Since the body produces photons through various acts such as digesting food or moving or breathing, all produce photons. These particles of light may affect other atoms, or they may be emitted from the body, radiating away from us. Particles in visible light, infrared light, and ultraviolet light, radio waves, all radiating out from us, as if we were walking antennas, both transmitting and receiving. If you're ready, move to the next slide. Now that we know that photons or biophotons are radiating away from the human body through various acts such as thinking, know that the photon, when it leaves the body, or in fact when it is emitted from the atom, it travels as a wave. Depending on the frequency in which it travels and the amplitude, this forms information. This is exactly how a cell phone works, in fact. When you make a phone call or transmit a text or transmit an image or a photo, it gets compressed into a wave of various frequencies and amplitudes. So when we emit photons, or I have a thought, it's conceivable that the biophoton may emit or radiate from me. While the majority of what we emit is certainly heat, it's conceivable that other forms of radiation that we emit may contain energy that we can think of as someone's thoughts being transmitted. When you're ready, move to the next slide. If up until this point you've been thinking, that seems fairly dubious that a thought could be radiated away from our head as a wavelength, well, just to show you that it isn't so far-fetched, a couple of years ago, an experiment was conducted with two people. Some researchers took a person in India, hooked them up to a bunch of electrodes, and then took another person in France and hooked them up to some electrodes to their scalp as well. And the idea is that if a person had a thought in India, that thought could be picked up as an electrical signal from the electrodes, sent along the internet, stimulating a computer and electrodes on another person, allowing them to be stimulated by the electrical activity of thinking, traveling of course across thousands of miles. Turns out what happened was the person who was asked to think of two words, hola, or hello in Spanish, and ciao, or hello in Italian. The person on the other side had earplugs in, had no awareness of what was going to be said, accurately picked up these two greetings. Of course, it required the internet. It required amplification to increase the strength of the signal. But the theory remains the same. Wireless transmission of thoughts can and does happen. When you're ready, move to the next slide. So then it becomes conceivable that if we have a thought that this photon, this biophoton, radiates away from me, it could be picked up by other people. It's why there is some research suggesting that thought experiments, there may be something to them. We could theoretically then start to hone our ability to listen to something somebody's saying to us at great distances. On the next slide, we're going to do a meditation. And in this meditation, we're going to think about what we've just discussed here about cognition and releasing information. And we're going to see if we can do a meditation for answers. When you're ready, move to the next slide. Before we begin this meditation for answers, begin by finding yourself in a seated position, in an upright and dignified posture, hands in a symmetrical position, feet flat on the floor. I'd like you to close your eyes and begin to think about someone with whom you'd like to speak with. Maybe it's a departed friend. Maybe it's a friend that's alive but not in this vicinity. Maybe it's a departed family member. Maybe it's a religious figure. Maybe it's a former teacher. Think about this person that you would like to ask a question to. Perhaps they were successful with something that you would like to be successful with as well. Begin to focus on your breathing as we enter into this guided meditation. It'll begin at the start of the bell. See this person with whom you'd like to communicate with, and start to surround them with light. If you can try to visualize them, you can surround them with a light of any color. It could be a white light, a yellow light, purple light, green light, it doesn't matter. Seeing this person in this beautiful light, I'd like you to say to them, either out loud or to yourself, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease. Each time you repeat these phrases, see if you can notice the quality and intensity of light growing around this person, becoming brighter. Through this process, we're increasing the amplitude of the signal. As we attempt to communicate with this person, we're turning up the volume. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. Continue to see this beautiful light grow. If at any time your thoughts become interrupted or your cognition becomes interrupted by the subconscious mind or that toddler mind chattering away, just return back to the sensation of breath and the visualization of this person that you've surrounded with light. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. We've now established a strong connection between yourself and this other person. What is it that you would like to know? Is there a question? Think about this question now and transmit it to the other person. While you may not immediately get an answer to your questions or to your question, know that you've established communication, you've transmitted your question, and now it's time to see if the answer becomes stimulated within you, much like that thought experiment between France and India, or between India and France. See if the words are stimulated within you. Words may be answers to your questions. That concludes day 7 on thoughts and consciousness and cognition. Hope you've enjoyed this meditation, and we'll look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.